Hello everybody, how are you? Hello everybody, how are you? It is time to start our day. It is time to work and play. Hello everybody, how are you? I have a friend with me today. She didn't want to be alone. She wanted to be with me. And if I didn't pick her up, she would just talk to us through the whole video. So I thought maybe she would join us today. This is Molly, if you haven't met Molly before. Molly is a very old lady. She can't hear anything I'm saying anymore, but she still wants to be with us and she still wants to have fun and learn. So Molly is going to be with us for our time together today, at least for a little bit. All right, yesterday when we were together, there was actually a cat in our story. Where were you yesterday? We needed you then. Yesterday there was a cat in our story who did not want to help. Do you remember that? The cat, the duck, the pig, they weren't very helpful at all. Their friend Little Red Hen had to do all the hard work, including the baking, but then our friend Little Red Hen got to do the easy, fun stuff and got to eat the bread that she baked. Remember that story? We're going to talk about it again in a few minutes, but first, I want to read you a different story today. So I'm sorry, but I am going to have to put you down so I can use my hands. Why don't you walk over this way? Say bye, Molly. All right, this book is about Bear and his friends. This title says, Bear Says Thanks. I don't remember hearing any thank yous yesterday in our book. Do you remember any of those? I just remember some friends not being very kind. Let's see what happens in Bear Says Thanks. Okay. All alone in his cave, Bear listens to the wind. He is bored, bored, bored. And he misses his friends. I have a question. How many of you start to feel bored being home? And how many of you are missing your friends while we're in quarantine? I know I am, and I start to get bored. So we can all understand how Bear is feeling right now. I could make a big dinner, a feast I could share. But he looks through his cupboard, and the cupboard is bare. Then Mouse stops by with a huckleberry pie, and the bear says, thanks. He's so happy. Bear says, goodness me, a delectable pie. But I have made nothing, he adds with a sigh. Then they hear, hi-ho, and they both see Hare with a big batch of muffins at the door of the lair. Hare hurries in from the cold, rushing wind, and the bear says, thanks. Of course, says Hare. Then he points to the door. Here comes Badger. He's got even more. Brrr, says Badger as he tromps inside. He sets down his pole and he smiles real wide. I'm back from a stroll at the old fishing hole, and the bear says, thanks. Then Gopher and Mole tunnel up from the ground. We have warm honey nuts. Let's pass them around. There's a flap and a flitter and a flurry in the den when in flutters Owl with Raven and Wren. We have pears from the tree and herbs to brew tea. Molly says hi again. And the bear says, wait! Bear mutters and he stutters and he wears a big frown. Bear sighs and he moans and he plops himself down. You have brought yummy treats. You are so nice to share. But me, I have nothing. My cupboards are bare. Mouse squeaks. Don't fret. There's enough, dear bear. You don't need any food. You have stories to share. His friends hug him tight. It will be all right. And the bear says, thanks. They lay out their feast on a quilt on the ground, and the bear takes a seat while his friends gather around. In a cave in the woods, in a warm, bright lair, the friends feel grateful for their good friend, Bear. They pass around platters, they tweet and they chatter, and they all say thanks. What a nice story. A little different than the story we read yesterday, isn't it? But there were some things that were the same. They were the same and they were different. Let's take a look and see if we can compare and contrast our two stories. Let me bring my board over here. All right, I have a board here and it has two circles on it, but you notice my circles overlap. There's a space where the circles share the same space. What we have here, in red, it says Little Red Hen. In black, it says bear. So the black circle is for all things we read in today's story. The red circle is for the things that we read in the Little Red Hen story. And I think we might have to ask our friend Molly to leave because you are going to be, oh, come here, beautiful. Say goodbye, boys and girls. Say bye-bye. You're going to be in the way of our board there, sweetie. So in the middle, what I'm going to do is write things that had the same, that were in both of our stories. So my red marker is for Little Red Hen, my black marker is for bear, and my green marker is for both stories. So let's think. First of all, in both stories, I can think that they both had friends. That wasn't something that was in both stories. So I'm going to write it in between the red and the black circle with my green marker. There were friends in both stories. What else was in both of the stories? There was food in both of the stories, wasn't there? They were both having food. There were friends. There was food. That says friends, that says food. Can you think of something else that was in both stories? I'm not thinking of anything right now, so let me think for a second about Little Red Hen. Who were her friends? She had a pig, but I don't remember a pig being in bear, so we'll put that over here. She had a cat, don't remember that in bear, we'll put that over here, and a duck. Now, I don't remember all of Bear's friends, but I remember there was a mouse, there was a hare, which is a rabbit, there was a wren, which is a bird, I know there was an owl, I know I'm forgetting some, but those are some of his friends. And the friends were different. They both had friends, but they had different types of friends. Now, in the Little Red Hen, who did all the work? Did they share the jobs, or did one of the characters do the work? In Little Red Hen, it was only her that did all the work, wasn't it? Little Red Hen worked alone. I'm going to write down, worked alone. Nobody helped. In the bear story, who brought all the food? Bear didn't have to do anything alone, did he? He provided them a place to go, and he had the quilt for them to sit on, but they all worked together for the food. So in this one, we're going to say they worked together. That's something that was different. Worked together. Now, do you remember when I read the title, excuse me, the title of the book? It's called, let's take a look again. Bear Says Thanks. Do you remember what I said about this title? Do you remember at all hearing anybody in Little Red Hen say thank you? I don't either. So in the bear book, they said thank you. Said thank you. And they all shared, didn't they? They all got to share the food. That's another thing. They all shared. Wow, so they did have some things that were the same, but they had lots of things that were different from each other. Sometimes it's fun to read stories and see what's the same and what's different. We even did that with Little Red Hen yesterday. We read 2 versions of it, and they were pretty much the same, but there was just a little bit different. Now today, let me scooch this over here for a second. Actually, before I tell you what I'd like you to do today, take a look up here. Have you been working on your thankful turkey? This is mine. The first day with you, I said preschoolers. The next day I said I'm thankful for my family, and today I am thankful for sunshine. I'm so happy to see the sun shining. So you can continue to add to your turkey, and I'll add to mine too. Something you can do today by yourself or with your family is you can make a placemat. In our bear book, they sat down together on a quilt. So it's kind of like having their own tablecloth. Well, you can make your own placemat where you can eat your food on. A quilt is something where you take little pieces of material and you put them together to make a great big blanket. How many of you have a quilt that maybe somebody made for you when you were a baby? Do any of you have one at home? I don't have one here that I could show you. I wish I did, but I don't have one. What I do have, though, is a placemat that I have started. I have a piece of white cardstock. Any piece of paper would be just fine. And on the middle of it, I wrote Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm making mine look a little bit like a quilt. I had some fun paper that I cut into squares, and I started putting them together. I have one more piece that I was going to add. This is what it looks like. So all I'm going to do is take that. I'm going to take my glue. There we go. I'm going to put some glue on the back side of it, and I'm going to add it. I'm going to put it right there. Now, if I wanted to, I could keep going and make my placemat look like a quilt, or I could take some markers and I could draw pictures. If I had some pictures that I had printed out, I maybe put those on there, maybe my family. I also went and did this. I got my scissors folder out and I found a piece of paper. I love the color blue. I found a piece of paper, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna make this one a little bit longer. What shape did I cut? Anybody know? I cut a rectangle, this is called. And look at this. I think, look at that. It happens to fit perfectly right there. So I can glue that onto there. But I don't have to just make nice shapes. I also got out my snippet bag from way back when. Here's my snippets bag. And I've got different size pieces of paper in here. Let's see. I wanted this one. What shape is this? Does this look like anything up here maybe? How many corners? 1, 2, 3. How many sides? 1, 2, 3. It's a triangle. So I'm going to put my triangle snippet right here and see how I'm filling in my whole placemat. Then, like I said, I can either fill the rest in with different pieces of paper, or I can make a picture of my own. Now, because I want to use it as a placemat, I can either use it like this and let it get dirty and then recycle it, or if you happen to have this at home, this works really well to protect it. It's called clear contact paper. And all you have to do is peel it off and put it over your placemat, and it will protect it so you can use it again and again and again. All right, guys, thank you for sharing these stories with me. Next week when we come back, we're going to talk about ways to be a helper. And I hope you have a great weekend. Get out there, enjoy the sunshine if it keeps shining, and have a wonderful time with your families. I will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.